So this is Dan of Vagabond Awake, and today I'm delighted to have Shelby on the channel. She has a great story. I wanted you guys to hear it. Shelby, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much, Dan. I have followed you for years. I love your videos so much. You are an incredible inspiration.
Where are you sitting right now, and what part of the world are you from?
Well, where I'm sitting is outside of Medellin, Colombia, which is in the northern Andes Mountains. And I have a home, I have a condo, so I own it in the mountains, 30 minutes outside of the city. So I'm from Florida and became a van lifer for about a year and then detoured and became an expat. And here I am in Colombia.
That's great. So you're in Colombia. I've spent some time in Colombia, and I think it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And I was delighted to hear that you were there, so you could tell your story. So how long have you been in Colombia?
It will be a year in April.
I've seen a few of your videos. You have a beautiful home there. I want to ask you about that in a minute, but what made you say, you know what, I think I want to leave higher outside my home country?
Closed my business during COVID because it was time to renew my lease. I had a very high-end lease in Southwest Florida for an art gallery. To make that commitment during a shutdown, I mean, all of us in the world, we had no idea what was going to happen, how long it was going to last. I was 62 then, I'm 67 now. Early retirement at a time with inflation skyrocketing. It was just frightening to me. And I was starting to spend my savings. I refused to go back to work. I've worked since before college, since I was 16, and, just kind of burnt out on that. The thought of working till I die, I hope I live to well into my 80s or 90s or 100. I'm not going to be able to be selling art to somebody when I'm like 93 years old. So that's what gave me the idea to kind of reinvent my life. I am a researcher beyond belief, and I love YouTube and channels like yours, Dan. And so that's what I did. I went down that rabbit hole. But most important to me was to be in close proximity to my adult children and my grandson, who's a teenager now. And it's a 3-hour flight to Florida, and the airport's 30 minutes from me. And most of Europe I didn't qualify for, the visas, the income level to get a visa. I started focusing on Latin America, Central America, and South America.
And how did you, of the Central and South America, how did you zone in or zero in on Colombia?
I think it's really important for anyone that's thinking about becoming an expat is you really have to do soul searching, and you really have to ask yourself questions of what you like and don't like, and not on a temporary basis. I mean, for instance, you can probably tell by looking at me, I'm kind of girly girl kind of woman, and I love rural. I go hiking, I get all, down and dirty, grubby, the whole thing. I wouldn't want that as a full-time lifestyle. So I'm honest with myself. But I've traveled to places where I thought, oh my gosh, I could live here the rest of my life. But you have to be realistic too. So you have to ask a lot of questions of yourself, and then also do the research and do some traveling if you can. But again, the beauty of the internet, the beauty of YouTube, you can see a lot, you can find out a lot about visa requirements, all sorts of things. Oh, and Facebook. Facebook has been my very good friend. There are great Facebook groups and expat Facebook communities all over the world that have so much information, and people are so friendly and happy to help.
Yeah, those are great tips. Facebooks are great for getting to know everything. You just you go to Facebook and you search on the word expats and city name or country name, and then you just join those groups and start asking questions. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how have the people that you've met there, is it friendly? In other words, does it feel friendly to you? And,
it is really.
And are you in a big town or small town? Give people an idea.
Well, I'm in, don't want to call it a suburb because it's pretty rural where I am, but I'm 35 minutes by car outside of Medellin, which is a really cool city. It's very young and hip. And have you been there?
Yeah, of course. It's beautiful.
So, and I did a couple of visits down here before I made the decision. I probably could have I could have done it in one visit, but I didn't stay long enough. So I ruled out Medellin, and that's because I lived in LA for so many years when I was younger, and I loved it. I loved it in my 20s and 30s. It was a great place to be and so much fun and everything. But, again, I'm retired, and city life just really isn't for me. But it's close. So if I want to go there for the day or go have dinner with friends or, whatever, and there's great expat groups there, then I have the city. But my region, and then there's a pocket of three little colonial towns, which are, again, in this 30 to 40 minutes outside of the city, and they're in the southeast, they're southeast of Medellin. So there's El Retiro, Rio Negro, and La Ceja. And they're all beautiful colonial towns. Rio Negro is turning into a small city. That's where the airport is, actually, for Medellin. And then El Retiro is a beautiful colonial town. I just love it. So I'm very close to that. I'm kind of on a mountaintop, and people can see in my videos my view. So I have to go 10 minutes by car to be down the mountain. So it's all fincas, which are like ranches and private homes and apartment communities like mine.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. In the videos, you can see the view off of your balcony there, and it's pretty amazing.
The people are so warm and friendly here. And I've been to Costa Rica, I've been to Mexico, and very, very similar culture. I think I also have an advantage because I'm solo female and an older woman. And so everyone wants to take care of me. And just, they're so sweet. They want to make sure, are you okay? Like, oh, do you need, what information can we get for you? Oh, the neighbor downstairs, when I first moved in here, he's from North Carolina. And so if you ever need anything translated or whatnot, I mean, I've gotten to know everyone in my building, which is not big. It's only 3 stories, but everyone is super nice, whether they don't speak English at all or they're totally fluent. They've all been so warm and welcoming.
That's great. That's super.
Yeah.
And this is your first time living outside the US, is that right?
Yes, my first time.
Okay.
In most small towns in Colombia, there's not a lot of English spoken, and I'm taking Spanish classes. I'm getting quite good at really immersing myself and forcing myself not to use Google Translate app. The first things I learned were how to be really nice to people and compliment them and be gracious. And I learned all of those things, and people just beam back and they hear my horrible pronunciation, so they know that I'm just really trying. And that's just a great way to acclimate. I think you don't have to be totally fluent when you're in a foreign country, and you've probably experienced that. But, if you learn things other than, on like apps like Babbel, you learn all these things about train tickets and where's the bathroom and this, no, I wanted to be able to say, your dog's really cute. Things like that when I'm out walking my dog. No, it's really funny. Yeah, I wanted to be able to say nice things to people.
This ebook taught me everything I needed to know about money so I could travel freely all over this amazing world. To get a free copy, either scan this QR code with your smartphone or click the second link in the notes below this YouTube video.
As I understand it from some of your videos, you decided to buy instead of rent. Is it okay if I ask what does a condo cost in that area?
Well, it really varies. As you can tell, mine's, pretty upscale. They have different stratas in Colombia.
Right.
The highest is a strata 5, and I'm in a strata 4. So I didn't overly splurge. Mine's a two bedroom, which I actually knocked down a wall. I'm going to do a condo tour video. I am really lame, by the way, at the technical stuff. I'm really learning on YouTube. Once I master that, I'll do a tour. But I decided that if I took down this one wall to the guest room is the next room from the living room, that because it's all glass anyway, that I'd have this big panoramic view. And I thought, how often are my kids or friends going to come? So I just went and bought an inexpensive inflatable mattress, my big sectional sofa is big enough to sleep on, and I have a king size bed because this is my place. I want it to make me smile and make myself happy. So every morning, some mornings I cry when I wake up and see the sunrise and this view. So I'm glad I did that.
So what's like a range? So because some people have more money than others, but
I'm in a gated community. I paid $165,000, but I can tell you that a condo with a view, whether it's mountain view or ocean view, say in Florida, this would probably be over $1 million. It makes me feel good when I don't have debt, and I have very few bills. So that's why I probably rushed into it, but I felt really good after the time that I spent here, and I looked into the real estate market, and I knew that I could easily resell it, and it's already gone up in value. So, and my HOA is $112 a month. In the town of El Retiro, if somebody still wants brand new, that's something that gives me peace of mind, newer construction, so I don't have a money pit situation. There are beautiful apartment or condo communities with beautiful gyms and pools and everything, and you can still find things probably between 100 and 120,000. Then there's another YouTuber. I'll give him a plug. I can't remember his station, but he's Gino Perez here in Colombia, and he's in a really rural area. Oh my gosh. And he talks about all the time his budget and he has a finca, he has acreage, and so his lifestyle is way less expensive than mine. It's absolutely gorgeous. But again, as I said earlier, I like to be close to a city. I just have a certain aesthetic that makes me feel good. So
what about your other stuff? Utilities, gas, internet, phone?
Most of Colombia is at elevation. So, and it's close to the equator, so we don't have seasons. So the weather is year round, maybe, some days with rain, but most of the time it's sunny, not high humidity. In fact, they call Medellin in this whole area, the area of the eternal spring. And it just is. Yeah. So it's like low 70s to mid 70s during the day, mid 50s at night, and that's year round. So we don't need air conditioning. My electric bill is, and I kid you not, it's between $30 and $35 a month. Mm-hmm. My cell phone bill, and the provider in my community is fiber optic. So it's super high speed. And so the cost on my internet is $26 a month. And let's see, what else do we have? Gas is about $10 a month. And my cell phone with unlimited data is $16 a month.
That's great.
And for the ladies that are out there, I just got to throw this into the ladies that are out there. So like to get like gel, this is expensive. This is like probably $70 in the US. I get for like 10, a manicure, a pedicure a pedicure, like full on pedicure with like everything is like $8. And I get my hair cut and a blow dry at a beautiful hair salon, and it's like less than $20. And in the US, it's crazy what things like that cost.
Yeah.
Even just inexpensive, even at Supercuts and everything. I mean, it's just so much more expensive than it is here.
Yeah, that's great. And so do you eat out more, would you say, or eat at home more?
And that's why I'm on the mountaintop. I like my quiet time, my recharge time. I love to cook. I love all my neighbors. I'll go and visit them. But I would say on average, say I'm out and about during the day. I may have lunch out a couple of days a week, dinner out maybe once a week. And to give everyone an idea, the cost, a really nice lunch, like at a local Colombian restaurant with something to drink would be $5, but a nice lunch. I went out to a sushi restaurant with someone last week, and I had just an enormous platter with, salmon, and it was rice and salmon and papaya and like all these endonami, all these different things. And I don't drink alcohol, don't really like the taste of it. So it was, a nice, beautiful bottle of mineral water and that huge platter of fresh fish. And that was like $8.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
You can eat really well here. And same thing for dinner. The average going out to dinner is 10, maybe 20 if somebody got filet mignon, you're at a super nice restaurant. So that's per person.
And what about groceries? What do you spend a month for one person in groceries?
Groceries are very inexpensive. Oftentimes when you're at a mercado or supermarket or whatever, you're not just buying food, right? You're buying toilet paper and, Windex type product or, whatever you're getting. So I have never spent more than $100 in a week. And that includes going out to lunch, like I said, a couple lunches, maybe a dinner. It's really, really inexpensive here. Colombian people are very, as far as their aesthetic, just super sophisticated, and they love modern. I don't know if you can see in the background, you see all this glass back here, and so they love to decorate this way. So these small independent furniture companies, that's all manufactured here, and it's pennies on the dollar. If you want to go out, into one of these beautiful little colonial areas, very, very easily you can have, rent for $500 a month. But if you drove just a little further out and you're just slightly more rural and you like that traditional Colombian architecture, it's so inexpensive. Really, really inexpensive here.
By the way, what's the name of your channel?
It's Navigating with Nana, and that's spelled Nana.
So what about safety? I know I've been to Colombia, Bogota, Cartagena, Medellin. I've been to San Martin, which is on the Caribbean, a little south.
That's way up off of Central America.
Yeah. Anyway, and I've had a really good time there. I would, and I feel relatively safe for Latin America. I didn't really run into any trouble at all. But do you feel safe there in your community where you are?
Very safe. And believe me, I put a lot of time and research into this area and also Medellin, the city. What makes it hard with YouTube is there are a few people out there that are into the clickbait, and they know they'll get a lot of clicks. Like, I was robbed at gunpoint or something. You don't even know if it's true, but there have been some headlines here in Colombia. It was the Escobar era that there have been US. Oh yeah, all of that. That was over 20 years ago. This whole area is wholly 100% cleaned up. Now, Medellin's a big city. It's going to be no different in Miami, no different in LA or New York. If you go out clubbing at night, and a lot of this crime happens, most of it happens to men. So the typical scenario of the people that have been killed, which has not been very many, is that it's a man, and the Colombian women are so beautiful. And they come here in droves, these nonstop flights to Medellin, and they'll be in a nightclub. And then there are some people that are out there that are going to prey on these men. And so the beautiful woman says, "Oh, come to my apartment for a drink," or whatnot. And so then she gives him a drink that has, something in it. And sometimes that something's too strong and probably has fentanyl or something like that in it. She has buddies, hiding out in her closet. And so the thing is to drug him, steal the iPhone and the wallet, and then just leave him on the side of the road outside of town. Well, sometimes those people, have died, but I don't have any worry of that. There is petty theft, like in the city. I haven't heard of anything like that in the region I'm in. I'm aware. In Rome, had my purse snatched. I had my camera stolen one time in Boston. You just have to be aware when you're really in any environment. In my area of Southwest Florida is probably the safest place that there could be. The supermarket there is Publix, and a typical crime is men that will, and this is towards older women, they'll have their purse, in the top part of the cart, and they're like unloading into the trunk, and somebody will just, swing by with somebody in a car, waiting for them to jump back in and just grab her purse and they take off. So now throughout Southwest Florida, and this is a beautiful area, so we're talking Naples, Fort Myers, in most of the parking lots, in most of the major shopping centers, they look like lifeguard stands, and they actually have a cop in them, or they have video surveillance that's literally going in a circle that can see the entire parking lot, that can record to try and stop this from happening. Go in the city. What I put in my purse, and I've always done this when I travel, is I put an old wallet in there with a little bit of money. And then where I keep my money for the day, in my card and my phone, I put in a pocket. So if somebody takes my purse, they're not getting, the important things or anything of great value. Colombia ranks super high in South America for its medical system. It's phenomenal. And there are several very well-known hospitals in Medellin, and one of them has a big location right by the airport, so it's only 20 minutes from me. Absolutely beautiful, very state-of-the-art. Oh, and they have a concierge there for people that don't speak Spanish. Well, Colombia does have a really good retirement visa. I decided to take advantage of what's called an investor visa, just because there are a few more perks with it. So, and I knew that I was buying the apartment. So with the retirement visa, it's after 5 years, it's the same with the investor. After 5 years of that visa, then you get residency. And then another 5 years after that, you can become a citizen if you want. So the retirement visa, I looked it up because I wanted to have, close to accurate information. It's around 16,000, maybe it's up a little closer to $17,000 a year to qualify. So, and your pension, as they call it here, or your Social Security counts. And then an investor visa, you have to invest a minimum of around $116,000 or $117,000 in either a business or a piece of real estate. And younger people, I'm sure you have a lot of younger viewers too, that their most common one that they get are digital nomad visas. When you apply, you have to show that you have a year of insurance, and that can be travel insurance. So I got what is called an assist card, and it's typical travel insurance. It's not expensive. It was, I don't know, like $300 for the year or something.
Tell us, Shelby, what, again, the name of your channel and what is it you like to talk about on there so people can go over there and take a look?
The name of my channel is Navigating with Nana, and that's spelled Nana. But it's really to give a realistic viewpoint of what it's like to leave the United States, to come to a foreign country, and in this specific case, to come to Colombia. And I wanted to be realistic, and I plan on not just talking about all the highlights, all the ups, but things that were more difficult and challenging. But I want to do also just to show people what it's like here. Absolutely.
Well, thanks so much, Shelby, for coming on the channel and sharing your story.
You're so welcome, Dan.
I really appreciate it.
It's been great talking with you and on inspiring all those people. You certainly did for me and continue to. Thank you so much.
You take care.
Navigating with Nana is the first link in the notes below this YouTube video. The second link in the notes below this YouTube video is the Financial Independence ebook, Foolproof Way. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see our playlist for over 140 people who have retired overseas in interviews. Feel free to watch that too.